Welcome RPG soloists to Top Solo Games. I'm Jay Allen Riker. Today, I want to show you another craft style project that I actually just figured out. So this isn't like with the book binding, you might remember. This was something that is long running that I've done a lot of times. But today, we are going to make terrain stamps. I saw a product on Reddit, Game Stamps. Looks really cool. If you don't feel like doing the arts and craft portion, then maybe you want to just hop over there to gamestamps.com, where I'm obviously not affiliated with, since I'm about to tell you how to make your own. But then you can just buy a set of these terrain stamps. But if you want to, you can have your own set for $1.25. Each one of these erasers becomes either 2 or 3 terrain stamps, depending on whether it's going to be a tall piece of terrain like this deep forest, or smaller terrain like this small forest. You can see I did the same with mountains, so high impassable mountains and small mountains. And I don't know, I thought I had this just little bit of a memory in my brain of making, maybe in grade school, I don't know, maybe it's not even a real memory, of making some stamps out of erasers. And these work surprisingly well. So like this is my swamp. This is my high mountain range. One thing that I've found is that curves are a lot harder than straight lines. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Oh, and one thing I tested was just to see if a PLA print could do this, and I didn't think it could since it's not soft, but I wanted to give it a shot. Anyway, that's what it ended up. That's my Stegosaurus after I applied it. So you can see it doesn't work. So you got to go with carving out an eraser. I guess there's no easy shortcut other than visiting gamestamps.com and giving them a little business. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I've got an already open pack. So you just snip off the ends. I also got these at the dollar. So these are from Dollar Tree. I got these for $1.25 at Dollar Tree too. I don't know exactly what to do with these, but I have a whole pile of them. Sometimes I'll keep little scraps of stuff around. I don't know about these. I don't know if they'll ever turn out to be useful, so maybe not. Okay, so I'm gonna I've been making my terrain based off of the terrain types for Forbidden Lands. I don't want to use their provided hex, like their hex map. I don't want to print it out. I like to discover what is in the next hex by exploring it. So I have made plains, forest, dark forest, hills, mountains, high mountains, lake. See my lake right here. It turned out really well. Quagmire, which is my swamp. I have this idea that swamps are purple. I don't know why. I do need to make ruins and marshlands. I think, though, that for this demonstration, I'm going to just make a tall forest. Just because it's something I know that won't fail on camera. So I'm going to cut this in half since it's one of the tall variety. I am using these 1/2 inch per side hex paper. So you can see what I used to do here if you want. I would just draw stuff, and I also had a color key for coloring it. But I think this is gonna make a really nice physical artifact to keep. Okay, so if you go for this type of eraser, they will fit exactly, not exactly by any stretch. I don't know why I said that. They will fit right in the middle of there, but not exactly in the middle. So I have been drawing with pencil. One thing to know is that you do not want to scuff the surface of this, so you have to be gentle when drawing, which probably might mean that pen is a better idea, and I might try those with some I make here in the future. You don't want to scuff because those scuffs stay, and those scuffs will show up for sure. Okay, so I'm marking it, tapering it in a little bit so it fits more easily. I'm done with the scissors. And now, reference my own trees. I'm going to draw some trees here. I think I'm going to have the land coming in, unlike on this one where I had the tree go all the way to past the edge. I think it'll look nice. And remember, you're being gentle because if you scuff the surface, it will pick up ink. What I was most surprised at is that the lines show up really well. You'll see that these are not lines that I drew in. These are lines that I cut in. And they pick up more ink. And so you can actually put detail in these, which is just wild to me that it turned out. Usually you do, I don't know, maybe this is just me. Usually I do a craft and it turns out looking kind of subpar. Maybe it's passable. Maybe I go to the store and buy the real thing afterward. But these turned out better than I expected. Okay, so that's pretty nice looking. So what I've been doing is using this razor. I don't know exactly what these are called, but because it has this thing that can act as a guide right there. So being very careful, do not sue me if you slice your finger, please. I mean, please don't slice your finger, but then also I'm not liable. So you can see that I've got it so that it won't go all the way, and that way I can use the edge as a guide. So you just slice along all of your lines. Being very careful. You can see I've got this little cookie sheet here. Or not cookie sheet, cutting board. And you can cut all the way through because it'll actually make it easier. I mean, not all the way through this, but all the way through the edge. Okay, and then for the interior ones, so that I can actually see the blade, I use just an X-Acto knife. And you don't have to cut as deep if it's not something part that you're trying to pull away, which these aren't. This is just to add in the extra detail, those drawing lines. And so you don't have to worry about these being optimal depth. I've been wiggling the blade around in there a little bit to try to make hold more ink so the lines show up even better. Okay, so now I've got all the lines drawn. And then if you do any model making. You probably have these for snipping things off of sprues. I have a lot of them because I have a 3D printer, which is, where this came from, and it's useful for cutting filament and for stripping off supports. This is my favorite pair. I have a ton of these, and this is my favorite. I'm going to try to remember to put a link to, I got it from Amazon. I'm going to try to put a link to it in the description, because there are kind of a lot of junk ones. So then you just go through and pinch those off, and they will tear off, is what I found pretty well. So it's not a big deal to get it like precise. So here, I'm actually going to go around especially because I did not cut all the way to the edge, just to give myself something to grab onto. Yeah. I wouldn't say this part of the process is pretty, but I'm showing you reality right here. Reality isn't always pretty. Sorry if this is getting a little bit too real for you. You can see it because this thing is wide enough that I couldn't see the lines, that some of this doesn't line up exactly. So try to accommodate for that, try to fudge your estimates. These trees look like they're being blown in this direction. This is this is windy dark woods. I tore that little bit right there. That doesn't look good. Okay, but you know what? Let's see what it looks like. Stamps out. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Now, of course, you can use an ink pad, but I had some washable markers around the house already, and they worked really well. So I got this bigger set with more colors. Let's find a nice dark green. Thinking that one. So I don't know if how washable it is makes the ink behave different, but I was really surprised at how almost all the ink just comes off of this so easily. I mean, I guess you probably want to act quick, but surprisingly easy. Wiggle it around a little bit. I mean, tilt it back and forth. Okay, and there you go. You can see that all those lines came through. I was so shocked that this worked so well. And now the lines are all filled with the green, so you can see it really well. Let's make some more. Obviously, it would be faster to have ink pads, but as I'm going through and exploring, I'm not going to be like blasting through these hexes. So I figured, well, it's not going to save me that much time. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. This is a $1.25 project that could, I think, really help make your hex maps look fancy. You want to make sure that you get the edges really well. put some water in just for fun. With some very brilliant. Pretty nice, huh? Okay. Then later on, I'm gonna, mark these on the back, and I might also put some like some tape around the different colors and make a little legend of what is what color. For some reason, for me, um, swamps are purple, and I think that came from a game from when I was a kid. I don't like a video game, but I don't know. So that's it. I hope that this is useful, and that you know it helps make your game look a little bit nicer. So it's been J. Allen Riker from Top Solo Games. Have a great rest of your day and keep playing solo.